Looks like the Apex coins, or at least the values of them, may be finally getting a change. This is actually more positive news. Actually glad to see something like this to make it feel at least somewhat less scammy. As well, some news regarding control mode being permanent and many things pointing in that direction to happen very soon, and removal of skill-based matchmaking discussions continue. All of that and much more in today's video. Make sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below for a chance to win the Valk heirloom. We're picking our winner tomorrow right after the stream, and as always, if you've already subbed to the channel, thank you indeed very much for doing so. So first off in the news, I just wanted to talk about control mode. You guys know that, we've been talking about for quite some time of the fact that it might be permanent. We're pretty sure it's going to be permanent. Well, this to me indicates that it's more likely for it to be permanent than before. Not that it wasn't really likely already, but just kind of put the cherry on top, if you will, that this most certainly will happen. That is coming from Alpha Intel, Apex Legends News, the biggest Twitter news site for Apex Legends, and they said this. They said it's time for control mode to be permanent in Apex Legends. Now we know why this is a big idea or a big deal for them to say this, because obviously this thing has only been out for 30 minutes from the time that I'm recording this, and it's already got over 1,000 likes. These people are definitely well noticed by Respawn developers, by Apex Legends, the official accounts. So whenever they are able to get stuff out that the fans agree with, it really points in the direction even more that what the fans want will most likely be heard by them and probably even dealt with. The interesting thing with control mode though is we all know that control mode most likely will be permanent. We know that these new game modes, like gun game and team deathmatch and all this stuff, like I think an uplink type version game from like Call of Duty, capture the flag type stuff, maybe even hardpoint or something. We know that these type of game modes are coming, but the only thing we don't know for sure, and I'm not even sure if like the leakers and data miners know this, is something you could probably ask Thornton about. Thornton's usually watching my video, so feel free to comment, Thornton, if you have the answer. But I'm not exactly sure what direction Apex is taking the game. Like, are they just going to start adding these new modes that eventually will become permanent, or are they going to add all these new modes and then eventually organize the game and say, okay, let's split it all up. Here's Apex multiplayer. It's got control. It's got griffball. It's got uplink, hardpoint, capture the flag, all this team deathmatch, free for all this other stuff. And then over here we got Apex Battle Royale. It's got duos, it's got trios, it's got ranked. And then over here we got Apex Arenas. It's got pubs and it's got ranked. I really hope they organize it that way, because if you just get on and start playing and you got all these playlists in front of you and you don't know which one to choose from, and there's like 10 different options, what's going to happen is you're going to probably have an effect like you did on the old Call of Duties and even on Titanfall 2 right now, where you'll experience about 3 game modes that really get played and the other ones get left for dead. If you guys go on the old Call of Duties right now, even the new Call of Duties right now, you'll notice the most popular game modes, the ones that will definitely get you a game: team deathmatch, search and destroy, maybe even a hard point or domination. But what you're not going to find people playing a lot of are things like headquarters and sabotage or mosh pit. I mean, some of these game modes were good ideas, but when you have all of these different game modes, it begins to spread people out a little too much. And honestly, I think the simple idea of just organizing the playlist and organizing the game and making it look a little bit cleaner and split off and divided between multiplayer, battle royale, and arenas will actually go a long way and make these playlists even a little bit more stable. I mean, obviously we know all of these game modes are coming out. We know most of these are planning on being permanent at some point, but I just don't simply know if they plan on splitting off the game and doing Apex multiplayer, or if they're just going to add these to the same menu that you see battle royale and just put them all next to each other. So all in all, I'm very excited for control mode to become permanent. Some people are even saying it's a hot take, but it's actually very boring, and then whenever it becomes permanent, we're gonna just throw it and leave it for dead like we did arenas, because it's going to become repetitive. Personally, I don't think so. I think it's a way better system than arenas to be able to get back in the game, shoot people, and be able to get warmed up. It's a lot more casual, it's a lot more fun, and I think that's something that we just have to have in the game. I do wish it was a little bit more competitive, so that you have a little bit more reason to get on and play it. But at the end of the day, it's way better for me to play control and have fun shooting people automatically and respawning, rather than going to loot on storm point for 20 minutes and then getting killed by the first team I see because they're Apex Predator 3 stacks. Also in the news today, a very good rework to see coming from EA. This is not normally something that we see, and actually it's not even that big of a deal, but because EA is so normally awfully bad and terrible morals, seems like they're always trying to get every dime out of us. It seems like something so small and minute makes it seem like they just got born again. So this was actually posted by Crowdrindo over on Twitter, and all he was doing was posting a picture from someone who had already posted it over on Reddit, and they said our new Apex coin values coming soon. And he actually made a response to this and said, added with the last patch, there will be 500 Apex coins coming soon to the store. So you no longer have to buy 1,000 at the minimum, or like 2150 at the second place one. Now you can actually buy 500. And people will say, well, what's the big deal with that? Well, oftentimes, if you ever bought a skin, you feel like, why in the world do I have to spend you know, $20 on a skin that costs 18. Why can't I spend 18? Because, you know, over time that stuff starts to add up. There's $2 here and there start to add up. Or maybe you feel like you're just a couple away and you don't, if you're like $1 away, you don't want to have to spend $10 because over time, like I said, you buying these things, it does add up. So it's going to be nice to be, if you're just a couple of dollars away, you can now buy 500 Apex coins instead of being forced to buy 1,000. So it's going to be really nice to have those 500 Apex coin values in there. Another example, obviously, if you got like 900 coins, but you know, the battle pass is 950, you don't want to have to spend $10 when you only need 50 more coins. So at least you're able to spend only 5. Hopefully maybe one day they even go lower, but I highly doubt you'll see something like that. But I also wonder if they'll ever change the values of the skins for the Apex coins. So maybe they're a little bit more aligned. So that way, you know, if you spend $18, you can get an $18 skin rather than having to spend $20 on an $18 skin. I don't know, it's just me personally, but I would really like to see a different change in the Apex coin value system and the skin value system so that it makes a little bit more sense. At the end of the day, you know, the system they have now is probably making them more money, and that's what they're going to stick with. So Apex also finally let us know a little bit more about their situation with the gold knockdown shield. You guys know we did not see anything in the patch notes regarding it, although they had said, we hear you loud and clear, regarding the gold knockdown shield being a little bit overpowered or being just kind of useless at this point. And you know, we talked about this. Casuals say it's fine, you know, don't remove it, leave it the way it is, it's fun, you got to have that X factor. And then the pros say it's absolutely garbage, it's terrible to have in the game, makes no sense, it's an unfair advantage. Well, even after saying we hear you loud and clear, it looks like they're not committing to any change yet, as they said this, and they said, with the emphasis on placements in ranked reloaded, some players have argued that the gold knockdown shield should be removed as they are seen as a bit of a cheesy or overpowered strat for surviving the end game. What are your thoughts on that? Should gold knockdown shield be removed? They commented and said, I will not commit to anything at this time, but we are evaluating and changes will be coming in the future. So keep that feedback coming. So it is nice to hear that maybe they're not going to just fully listen to the pros and take them exactly what they want, but they may make some little tweaks that still make it fair, still make it seem fun, but also not, you know, being the fact that you kill all 3 of them and unfortunately they get top 2 and you only get top 5 even though you killed them. It's a tough situation because, you know, on the casual scene, I definitely understand why you don't want to remove it. It's, you know, it's fun, it makes for some great plays, but when you're talking about millions of dollars on the line, last thing I want to hear is that, you know, Team X got $400,000 more than me because I killed them, but they had the gold knockdown shield and they survived the top 2 and it put them in 2nd place and put me in 5th place. Screw that, dude. I don't want that. Another thing people want removed, and it's actually been talked about for many years, but this was a pretty good idea coming from Thornton Smash, and this was actually just a tweet and it was an idea for an LTM, and he says, an Apex Legends LTM idea, remove skill-based matchmaking entirely just to see how people enjoy it, and I promise you it'll be the most popular LTM that you've had yet, and you don't even have to add anything. I can see the devs, you know, already typing, well, it's not that simple to just remove skill-based matchmaking. It actually takes months of implementation of changing this and changing that. Therefore, we can't do it. For every good idea that an Apex community member has had, Respawn has had 12 excuses as to why they can't do it. And to be fair, sometimes they're logical, but I mean, dude, just come on. So leave me a comment down below how you would change the Apex coin system and how you would change maybe even the skin value system, and leave your best ideas in the comments. Leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel for some more, and also a chance to win that Valk heirloom. Picking the winner tomorrow. And until the next time, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you in the next one. Later, Gators.